this healing is going to evolve everything one way or another. It evolves how I parent. It evolves my thought processes on being a coach, because now I'm like, yeah, maybe I can coach football and be more active and whatever, you know what I'm saying, and do these things. Like, I have more energy every day. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, not because there's pain in my back. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning and I'm excited. So I get up and I go make one of those spray paint paintings. I literally got the stuff for that the day after I was healed.
That's funny. You're like, more hobby time.
I'm serious, because
I want to do something.
I'm not managing all that pain. Yeah. It's like you said you're a low bandwidth and like you got one thing you're doing and it just consumes you. Well, fortunately, I had a high enough bandwidth that I was able to manage all of that pain and do things. Yeah. But without having to manage that pain and worry about, is the next activity I'm going to do hurt my back? Is this going to... It's like being on that freaking... What is that movie, Limitless? Where you take the pill and it's like...
I love that movie.
It feels that way. It's like, I'll do this, I'll do that. Sure, I get... This is the other thing. It's not I have to go pick up my kids. I get to go pick up my kids. I get to go fix... The other day, a toilet was leaking at the church. I took a quarter and I reached over and was twisting the bolt to stop the leak. And I was like, don't worry about it, y'all. I get to fix a toilet. Whereas before I'd be like, I don't have my back brace, guys. I don't know if I should do that.
I feel like you're having a good year. Like, this is like a defining year for you in a lot of ways. That's nice.
You think midlife crisis made me artificially engineer healing? By the time I'm 40, I'm gonna be in the best shape of my life.
No, but there's been a lot of big things happening this year.
It's been God has done some tremendous stuff. Also, in being a big year, we spent almost this whole year, to one degree or another, engaged with Tom MacDonald.
Yeah.
And his fans.
Which was surprising. I did not expect that to come down the pipeline.
No, I remember I said, "Hey, this new song came out with Tom MacDonald. I want to react to it." And you're like, "Okay, whatever. Who's Tom MacDonald?" Or I don't care. Like, and I didn't really care that much either. I was like, "It's a new song. Yeah. I've heard one or two things of his." And then all of a sudden,
I thought it would be politically controversial or something.
Yeah.
That's why we were kind of like, okay, let's look at this.
But not like, it tickled that artist itch in me. Like, because now when I found out who Tom MacDonald was, there's so many layers. There's the political layer. Then there's the layer of where he came from and like the alcohol abuse and like his connection with people from AA and all that kind of stuff. And then the layer of how he's completely independent and the layer of how everybody out there, he was on the list of the top 50 worst rappers of all time.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they put him on the list of the worst rappers of all time.
Yeah, but I feel like you have to mention it separately. Like, there's the whole Tom MacDonald of it all, and then there's the fan base. And that's a whole different thing.
The Hangover Gang was a big surprise, too.
I didn't know that thing existed.
Yes.
When they started putting hashtag hog underneath everything, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, and then they said hog gospel was one of them. I thought that was awesome. But because of our engagement with Tom MacDonald's fans, Tom MacDonald's songs, I'm not going to say he's my favorite artist. He's not. I have my own favorite, and you and I have talked about that, because rap's not, and hip-hop aren't even my favorite genres. But he's, in my opinion, an excellent artist.
Yes.
Someone who's committed to his craft and is committed to pushing the envelope of what he provides for his fans and people who are into his art.
Well, I think it's funny because I look at it more of almost like a therapist type situation. I feel like he's been inspiring me to be myself.
Well, and the reason I was wanting to talk about this is because for the first time, my birthday just rolled around not too long ago. And my wife asked me what I want for my birthday. And I said,
Tom MacDonald.
I said, one of the things I want for my birthday for sure is a CD. And she goes, a CD? You want me to buy you a CD? And I go, yes, because I pay for Spotify Premium, so I get to listen to all the music. And as an artist, Spotify does pay its artists. It's hundredths of a cent per spin. So if you want to help me out, you could play our music all night long while you sleep. No, but...
Seventh time down.
Yeah, seventh time down. So they do pay their artists, so I don't feel like I'm ripping the system off. And this is the new world we live in.
Yeah.
And I haven't bought a CD in maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? And she said, you want me to buy you a CD? I was like, yes, and here's the only place you can get it. hangovergang.com. So she bought for me the 2 records, the 34 songs or 35 songs?
I don't know.
She bought that for me for my birthday. I have it here. Haven't opened it yet because I was wanting to open it online with everybody.
You said there was like a California address on it or something?
Yes.
Does the Hangover Gang know if you order a CD, if that's the address, you can write him personally?
Is this address on here the address where you can send correspondence to Tom MacDonald, Hangover Gang fam?
That would be interesting.
If that's the case, I'd love to send him something. Nothing weird. I'm not going to send him feet pics, but like I'd love to send him maybe one of those spray paint art paintings that I've done.
Oh yeah.
Out of maybe something inspired by one of his songs or something like that. But yeah, I'm going to open this for you guys. I'm excited about it. You guys probably all have it. You're like, old news, done got it, whatever. But
what's that?
Here they are, Renegade by Tom MacDonald.
Oh, it's got two in there.
And The Revolution.
I was expecting like a plastic case. Hand me one.
Hand you one. All right, I'll hand you Renegade. So the reason I got this, here's the other deal. The reason I got this and felt like getting
He's got a little bird on his shoulder.
Getting these records, the reason why I felt like they were significant is not necessarily, like I said, he's not my favorite artist of all time. If he is yours, I do appreciate a lot of his art. But it's more about how you can only get it on hangovergang.com. 100% independent. It's an operation of him, his sister, his brother, like his friends, his family, close. It's like a small little operation. They ship everything out themselves, like the whole idea
I've seen a few posts on Facebook of pictures of them doing stuff.
Yes, the whole idea of being able to take a product, market yourself in a hugely popular industry and avoid all of that industry and become wildly successful. While speaking just truth, while not curbing your message, was astounding to me.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it was actually like working, for him in that big of a scale.
Yeah.
So my goal is to get these. I'm going to listen to them.
There's something on here. What number 12 is See God? I want to listen to See God.
See, I want to listen to these songs.
We've heard Sheeple.
Yes, we've spent the majority of 2022 kind of going through a lot of his catalog. I'm going to spend a while going through songs of these two records. This is the first CDs I've bought in 10 years. Go through them, listen to them, and really critique them as an artist and like pick the parts. Because he said too, like this is the first time where nothing but a 10 was acceptable. Like I wasn't going to let it slide if it wasn't what he felt was perfect. So if he thinks these are perfect, then this is the best representation of Tom MacDonald now that you're going to get, because he feels like these songs are perfect to him. This is his artistry. So really diving into them. And for the Hangover Gang fans, if there are songs in here that are already your favorites, suggest to me which ones am I listening to really like to focus in on. We'll focus in on those. I want to spend a while focusing in on these two records to really maybe get a sense of where he's at right now in 2022. Because at the end of the day, he's a human. Nova, they're humans. They experienced this whole thing with the pandemic and the freaking over-politicized nature of everything. They've experienced it just like we have.
Yeah.
And this would be an opportunity to kind of peek into what he thinks is like, this is my best art to date.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Yes.
But also, I thought it would be cool to, since we did Tom MacDonald stuff basically all year long, along with our other content, to maybe reflect on some of the more exciting, more interesting moments of the whole Tom MacDonald journey this far. Do you have any that stick out to you that you're like, this was surprising or shocking, or one particular song? Or
well, you know how sometimes you watch the stuff you make back just to see what happened and stuff?
Yeah.
And me on camera going, butthole. I did not anticipate that would be happening.
Watching the Buttholes video with you was hilarious. That was,
I like that.
That one was a great memory to me because it was unexpected. I did not expect.
Yeah, it was a surprise.
It was a left hook I did not see coming. Another one that was like that to me, or another memory that I appreciate like that. Another memory that I appreciate like that was when we reviewed Castles.
Oh yeah.
The reason I liked our review of Castles was because we didn't like it as much at first. Halfway through it, we were like, it's not for me.
It for days.
And then by the end of it, we connected with it so well that you were like, oh yeah, I totally get it. I understand why this song is like at the top of everybody's lists.
Like the message of it settled in.
Yes. Yeah. And that's not typical with a song. You can make a judgment of a song, you like it, you don't like it. This one we were like, not my favorite. And by the end, we're like, wow. I really connect with it. So Castles was one I really enjoyed. Riot was another one that I loved doing because that was when they first started the special VFX, like to see him on the Bonado in Riot.
I like seeing his progress. Yeah.
Yes, it was wild. It was like, I can't wait. Like, and he taught, there was images of him saying, this is my wildest video yet and all this stuff. Riot was a great experience. And it was a side of Tom MacDonald where we wondered where their venue was for this audience, other than connecting with, if you're a Hangover Gang fan, you're there for life, but where the venue was. And Riot was one of those songs that you could totally hear in a club. You could, it was really killer. That was another experience I enjoyed, was reviewing that video, because too, it also felt like that was the moment it clicked with me that labels don't have a shot with him. If he can do this on his own and get 5 million views or whatever, he doesn't need a label.
I want to know what the song 5 Bank Accounts is.
5 bank accounts?
Yeah.
That's probably one of
that's
those
fun.
I'm Tom MacDonald and I'm the best songs. He has those.
I think, okay. I've been a fan of bands. Like, you're a fan of Nirvana or Matchbox 20 or, like you're a fan of a sound, a band and stuff like that. This, as an adult, is the first time I became the fan of like a person. I don't know how to like we came for the political stuff, but we stayed because of his humor.
I'm a
he's
fan
inspiring.
of him, not just his art. I'm more of a fan of the artist than even the art. And although I do appreciate certain pieces that he's done that are great, I'm more fan of. That's why I said it's so special about it. It feels special. It's him and his family, and like
he's
you feel connected to it.
He's putting his whole everything on display for everybody. And you don't get that a whole lot.
Well, and I think that's deliberate, because when you come from where he's come from, if you come from the bottom, other than God or what he, if he's a faithful person in that respect, he feels like this kind of saved his life. Doing this, pushing into music and artistry as much and as hard as he can, has saved his life.
Yeah.
So I imagine he's never gonna halfway do it.
That's one of the things. He doesn't half-ass it. I mean, I don't say ASS much, but like he goes full send all the time.
He does. When that's what he said. I watched him on this record. He had this long video talking about these two records, and he said that usually sometimes when he's making a record, he would do a song a day. He creates a beat in the morning, and he starts writing for it, and then finishes the track out with Nova and other people and stuff like that. And he said usually he'd let a 6 go by on a record. Like, it's a 6, man, it's fine, whatever, we'll just throw it up there. But he said if it wasn't a 10, he scratched it.
Yeah.
Or he would work on it and work on it and work on it for days and maybe even weeks on certain songs until it was a 10 in his mind. So if that's to be believed, which he hasn't, it's not really a liar, every one of these songs are ones that he feels like are 10s the way they are. And it's a lot of songs. It's not your typical 10-song record now. There's 17 on this one, and how many are on that one?
Oh, gosh. 17?
17. Well, 34. I knew it was 34 songs. I could have just done the math.
I can't do math.
The math ain't mathin'. Classic Chandra. Now, another memory of us reviewing Tom MacDonald stuff was one of the first songs. It was one that the Hangover Gang fam told us to review, which was Church. And that
I like the visuals on that one.
But all I need is church. Na 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 na. Honestly, it hurts. Like, after what happened to me Monday, the healing in my back, I think I realize and connect with that song a little bit more. When he's saying, all I need is church, he's talking about the church in the Bible. And what I mean is the church described in the Bible, where people's needs are being met.
Yeah.
People's lives are being changed. People are being saved, not just, I believe in Jesus and we're saved for eternal destination. Their lives here on earth are being turned around and drastically impacted by this belief.
He meant it in the truest sense.
Yes. He's like, I need church the way they talk about it in Jesus's day. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Like he didn't say that, but that's feeling.
And that's what I felt
something that actually changes you.
That's what I felt like I experienced and had on that phone call on Monday when my back was healed. It's like, that's church in the truest sense. That's a life-changing, life-altering, miraculous happening. And that way I connect with him when he's saying he's not about organized religion. Because sometimes over time, the tradition and the corporate nature of church begins to water that down. That's acceptable. That's not. This is what we believe. And if you step outside of that, like.
Well, and then also you only become a Christian when you're in that building. You're not praying with your friends and stuff, You're not out in the outside world doing it too much.
You're not reading God's word every single day because it's the word of God. You're reading it if you have to because that's what a good Christian does. Or you're reading it on Wednesday when you have Bible study, and not doing it on your own because you love God. And you got healing and you got like a life change out of it. And so in that way, that song means more to me now when he's saying, I keep buying whiskey, but all I need is church. I feel like I got a better, deeper understanding of that song and where he was coming from, in a sense that he's like, when he says all the lines about he praying to God and all this stuff and it didn't work, I feel like he's saying, I was trying it the way they all told me to try it. And none of that was working. It doesn't mean it's not real. It just wasn't working, Yeah. And that's the way I felt like with me. It's like like I said, I've prayed the prayer of faith many times, but it took some random innocuous phone call with this dude and all of a sudden, holy smokes, I'm healed,
And then also, we were, through Tom MacDonald, exposed to other people, other rappers that I didn't know existed. All these independent artists that weren't on my radar at all. And so I thought that was really neat. And also Nova, I've still only heard a couple of her songs, but seeing her as a visual artist was a revelation. How are people so talented? Like, what's it called? Multifaceted? Like, some people can just do so much so well at a high level.
And it makes me that I have no idea. That's what Stephen Pressfield would say. They tapped into their true self, and he said they tapped into the muse or whatever. But no, I also wonder about Nova, how she isn't doing big projects for other people. If she's been doing this with Tom for this long, at this successful and this quality of work, why she isn't one of the big names that people know, if it isn't for the fact that she's connected to him. I wonder if her connection to him and his controversy and his flipping the bird to the system, if that keeps her from having those kind of opportunities. Or if it does, I wonder if she even cares because they're so successful and they're doing their thing. What does she care if other people don't hire her? She don't give a hoot. Maybe. I don't know.
I want to see them get married. Because
I saw somebody wrote in the comments that they were supposed to get married, but then the COVID stuff happened and she had like that crazy, like she almost died because her breathing issues she had, and he didn't want to get married unless he could give her the wedding of her dreams, which she wanted to be out like in the Bahamas or some kind of crazy
seeing her
thing.
videos and stuff, I wonder what she'll do for a wedding.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
It would be hilarious to me if it was just like in their backyard and they just wanted to keep it super small and have tell everybody in Hangover Gang that they could be a part of it with a secret code or whatever, like this kind of stuff, so they could all tune in and live stream or something. That'd be neat.
I think as far as them being just here we are type people, I think they probably will have something small and intimate and stuff. But on the other hand, them being so talented and skilled and creative, it makes me think that they'll want to do something wild.
There's got to be a little ego in it too, because he's said he's flipped the bird to the system, and everybody, all the rappers and stuff and hip hop artists and stuff, and go huge for all their big outlandish spending and all. They go huge on all this stuff. So I wonder if the ego would make them feel like it's not legitimate in the eyes of all the other people unless it's big, and elaborate and all this stuff.
But the reason I say I would like to see them get married is I like them as a couple. I see how their energies feed off of each other, and I enjoy it. They're a couple that I like watching, and I like the thought of her listening to his music and laying in bed at night and thinking about how can I make a visual video for this and stuff. I like seeing their thing, how they relate musically with each other.
I agree. They feel like a celebrity power couple, but they're not celebrities. You know what I mean?
They are
like,
to me, though.
They have their own little celebrity network.
Yes.
My question, I guess the final question here is this. Does buying these records, and I call them records, man, I'm old. Does buying these albums...
Do you think he ever does put out a real record?
Maybe. If he had a vinyl, I'd get it. I mean, I love vinyls. Like, I don't know. I wonder if this makes me Hangover Gang. Like fam or not? Like, is there a secret code? Like, is it like the Illuminati? Do you got to be invited?
Didn't they already say if you're here, you're already family? Like something like that.
I'm just saying. Do you consider yourself, Chandra, at this point in the game, part of Hangover Gang fam for one reason or another?
I don't know. I think a lot of people who particularly call themselves hog is the former alcoholics and stuff.
I would think a lot of them though. See, this is the tricky part. I think a lot of them are like fans of all of his music or something. Like he is their favorite artist.
I'm definitely a fan of Tom MacDonald and Nova Rockefeller.
That's what I'm wondering. If my being in the music industry, for as long as I have or whatever, like me, I'm such a fan of them. I'm such a fan of the way he's doing it.
Are we hog or aren't
what it represents that I would defend him. If people say he's cringy or he's the 50 worst rappers, I'm like, shut up. He's got talent. You're dumb. Like even if
I do want to go to a concert.
Even if they're of his entire like full onslaught of songs, if there's only a quarter of them that I'm like, yeah, those are great. I don't know. Like, I don't know how many of them I'm like, these are fantastic, whatever. Even if it was a smaller percentage, I wonder if I would still be like Hangover Gang Army or whatever, because I'm such a fan of them and what they do. And I feel like our culture needs things like that right now.
Yeah.
Authenticity. I don't know. What do you guys think? Can we be honorary hog fam? I mean, do I can't afford a new tattoo right now. So you do tattoos though. Could you do us a tattoo, a Hangover Game?
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
It's another layer, another day.
Another day. Thank you guys so much for hanging in with us. This year has been fantastic. We both hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And remember those people that are going through something that's makes the holiday season difficult. Apparently, this is like one of the more depressing times.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. So if you're alone this holiday season, write in the comments to start up a conversation with us. I'd love to chat with you. It won't fix your problems, but you know what I mean? But like,
am I?
let's grow our community, and during a time that's supposed to be joyous and exciting. And remember, as always, we do feel like because our content is a little bit not the narrative, sometimes people are getting unsubscribed and all this kind of stuff. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and suggest to us going forward in 2023 what you want to see us engage with Tom MacDonald as an artist. I plan to do a duet on his song Fighter. That's the goal. Covering it wasn't going to work out. It's complex in the amount of words that he has. But I was thinking about maybe doing a duet and posting that up and seeing what people think. So if you like this clip from the Not Gospel Studios YouTube channel, don't forget to share. Click on one of the other links and videos. You can find them here and subscribe. I think it's down here. Tell your friends about us. Tell them that it's healthy, that it's vegan, and all of those things. Keep being awesome, because that's how God made you.